Welcome to SoulTopia production. Every Tuesday, Michelle and Roger Welch take a deep dive into the intriguing and proactive world of metaphysics, a world beyond our human perception. They'll talk to empaths, readers, and other guests from all walks of life to find out what's hiding under the surface, uncover the mysteries of our modern world, and reveal the answers you need to live a happy, healthier life. Now, here's your hosts, Michelle and Roger Welch.
Hello, how is everyone doing tonight? How are you, Roger?
Doing awesome. What about you?
I am here.
You're
Well, I'm
here?
really doing okay. I'm very happy to be here. How about you, Matt? You good?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm always happy to be here. I'm very bright for some reason. I don't know why. I have like a halo over me.
It actually looks
think
good,
the lights
though. You're not
turned a
over
little
there in the
bit.
dark.
I think there are studio lights like right above me, right here. So,
Yeah,
Just has a little tweak to him towards the door there.
yeah. Well, what's going on? What's going on in your world, Roger?
I'm tired because of you.
Okay, what does that mean?
We were up all night because you were on Coast to Coast last night. So where can people see that?
On Coast to Coast AM. They can go to that website and check it out there. So I know that actually a nurse that I had last week, she watched it, or she listened, last night. But you can go there and you can listen to it there on Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
Very cool.
It was. I had a good time. I was on the second hour. So the second hour, he literally does that from, I guess, whatever.
It's from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock, right?
Yeah, our time, Central
Yeah,
Time.
our
so
time.
he has one guest for 2 hours, then he has another guest for 2 hours. And so I talked about Spirits Unveiled. It's my third time to be on. My second time to be on with George, whom I found to be pleasant. Really nice to talk to. His producer that came on with me, I guess his producer that talked to me ahead of time, his name was Tom, and we talked Cowboys, so everything was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually like the old timer Cowboys. We both agreed on that. I told him I didn't like Jerry Jones, and so we were instant friends. If you can bond overnight liking Jerry Jones, I mean, then you know you've got a friend for life, right? I'm kidding. Sorry.
My buddy Andrew, he was, because I told him yesterday, I guess, that you're going to be on there. And I told him the guy, there's some astrophysicist, something talking about Mars and the way we recolonize Mars is set off a nuclear weapon on Mars, and and it brings in, and which I've heard that before.
Right.
But he was like, "Oh, I'm on. I've got to go and watch both of them." Then
Yeah.
he was all about watching both episodes.
Well, yeah, the guy before me sounded highly knowledgeable, and then there was me. So that was all.
So 4 hours of total entertainment there.
Total. Well, that guy definitely. I mean, he's a nuclear physicist, and then Michelle comes on.
It's like, howdy, y'all.
Hi, y'all. I'm from Longview, Texas. But
So what was different this time versus the couple other times? Anything specific that you got into that you hadn't before?
yes, what felt different to me was that we talked a little more about my background of being raised in a religious home, and how that plays into the way I approach things. I felt like, and didn't you feel there was a little more talk of that? What else, Roger? I felt like it, because you had to listen, you had no choice. What else? I mean, I don't mean had to listen to the show because the show's good, but to me, talking, listening to my end of it, what it felt like, and I was talking about Spirits Unveiled, so I wasn't talking as much about the energy and our connection and being empaths as I was what kind of spirits I've encountered and what kind of spirits other people might encounter, and how I feel about protection versus the way some other people may, I knew right when he read my title, A Fresh Perspective, he wanted to know what the fresh perspective was on angels, guides, ghosts, and more. I mean, if you're going to put that on the front of your book, you need to bring it and say, well, what's
Sure.
different about your book, right?
Yep.
And so and I can do that because I do take some different viewpoints than other people, like 100 million people that have written books, and I mean that I do because there's a lot of books out that say the same thing, and that's not what I see. So we talked about some of that. So that's what was different, I believe. And as far as when Lisa Garr had me on, I was on for Spirits Unveiled, and the way I made it different this time is just they were so different in their approach. She was asking for a lot of the ways you encourage people in the things they're dealing with, and not that he's more bringing out the negative aspects, but he's asking more, okay, what if something does go wrong? How do you protect yourself from those things? So it was good to give both sides of that.
Right.
It's very cool. Yeah, it's a very unique thing, and they're live in the middle of the night, so if you're going to be on, you got to be up. I don't know that I mean, maybe they have for special occasions, but I don't know that they do any recorded interviews. It's all live because they take calls and stuff. Do they have calls?
Oh yeah, for the second they asked me, and I just assumed that I think his name was Tom. He said, "Michelle, do you do readings?" And I said, "I just assumed I was during the second hour. I thought I was. I just thought I was." And he goes, "Oh, you're like one of my favorite. Yeah, you're one of my favorite psychics. Yay, okay." And then I just said, "He knows you. Can you keep it to 1 to 2 minutes?" And I was like, I can, but the answer is I really can. When I get on there, I'm pretty short.
She did pretty good. She kept them in there.
I can keep them. Yeah. They sometimes I want to cut off, and I was surprised that they didn't cut off their questions a little bit. And then I felt like, is it my job to cut off their questions, or is it the host's job to cut off their questions? Because I don't want to be rude to their guests.
I would say in that instance, it's the host's job to cut
that's
off.
what I thought.
Yeah.
One of them went on with their question, so
They like to explain their questions.
just like I like to explain my questions, Matt.
Let me explain to you, because this is why I think she should come back to me. And well, do you think she'll come back to me?
Don't make fun of them, but yeah, and I understand because some people just want to be heard, So. But yeah, so I did. I read for the second hour. It went by. That went by really fast.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah, I was yawning, and Roger's like, "Stop yawning."
Well, they can't see you. At least.
I mean, I wasn't audibly yawning. I don't think.
It's like,
I wasn't doing that. But it was a good time. You've taught me a lot, Matt. I mean that. So thank you.
No, we'll go
on there and helped me.
I'm glad it's been put to use. And yeah, I think George is a really easy conversation. He tends to be pretty open-minded and
he didn't try to trick you or try.
He's been doing it a long time too. Plus TV and everything else he's been on.
Yeah. He didn't try to. There was only that one person that I was supposed to be on their show, and I remember I was listening to it, and I looked at Mary because she was with me, and I said, "Listen to this," and I had the right show because I will always go and listen to the show. I'll try to find it. Number one, to find out for sure, is it only audio? If they tell me it's only audio, because I'm going to go in there looking like a wreck. All of a sudden, oh, it's visual. You're like in your pajamas or something. And but also just to find out about the show a little bit. And I checked this one guy out, and I have no idea who it was, so I can't even say. But I did not end up being on the show just because it didn't work out. And I think I manifested that because he was attacking his guests. Now, his guests deserved it, to be honest. The guests kept saying, "Well, I can't answer that. I don't know that." And he's like, "Well, then why is it on your bio? I mean, what you said you were going to come on the show with, you won't answer those questions. And yet it's on your bio, you're an animal communicator, yet you say you won't communicate with animals. Okay, well, let's go to another part of your bio. How about we do some mediumship?" "Well, I don't think I can do that either." "Okay, well, how about we, so he was a little confrontational, I'm not scared of that. I'm used to that from being in court, but I felt he could have been well, the guy deserved it though. So I listened to another one, and he was still a little bit, he tries to kind of catch you.
Yeah. Trying to see if somebody's real or not real.
You know who does that is when I used to be, Matt, with your company before, and I would do some stuff in the morning. I would do, like, here's Michelle Welch, expert, quasi, we're kind of stretching it, expert in sleep, daylight savings time. And would I not research like the whole day before?
What did you have to say about daylight savings time?
A lot, because I researched it for
You
like a
researched
week.
the hell out of it for a
I
week
could
for
have
a
written a
2-minute
book about
session.
it. I mean, I probably could have.
Yeah.
Well, let me see if I can remember. I mean, I told when it happened, why they did it. I mean,
She also did one on sleep. You're supposed to get up every 30 minutes. If you're driving, stop
and
and,
the
walk
blue
around
light,
the car for 30 minutes.
the blue light
What the heck?
bothers you. The blue light, and then this kind of light. And I mean, I really was an
She
expert
became
by
an
the time I
expert
was
by
on
the
the
time.
show.
Yeah.
But if you're on a sportscaster show, and you talk about anything psychic, they're going to try and catch you.
I think. Well, I think they also just tend to be a little bit more reverent over there, so they'll try to poke holes in everything. Yeah.
But usually, if you joke back with them, but joke back with them to throw them the thing where they can kind of make fun of you a little bit, and they act like it's just it's just like when you, with anybody where they think they need to be in control, and you let them think that they are.
Yeah.
I didn't say a gender, but you can get pretty good at knowing how to let certain people think they're in control when really certain other people are really the ones.
Well, I think sports radio tends to skew in a certain way.
But there were not, there were some though. Remember, Roger, there was one I got off one morning. I was like, what a, and you were like, well, you handled it fine. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. I was like,
You got asked to go back on that one too.
I did.
And you didn't go.
Oh, did I? No,
Yeah.
I wasn't chicken.
No, you didn't. You just
I was like, I'm not
doing
sure if
that.
that's worth getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to do that.
Not a lot of things are.
Yeah, not a lot for me. So I had a good time last night, though. Thanks to that, and that ties into that what we were talking about before the show started. I mean, they are old school. I mean, it is a landline.
Yep.
You
So we
better
don't have
a
landline at home, so we had to come up here.
It does surprise me that they still are very adamant about that, because I don't know anybody outside of a business that has a landline, and even some businesses that you're doing it over the internet, Google Voice or some other service like that. I don't know a whole lot of individuals that have landlines.
Well, because our landline here is still a digital service. It's not like an old school landline.
Yeah.
It's still digital.
Yeah, it's stretching it a little bit these days. I think I think they say landline, but if you really get down to it, it's like it's not all that different from a cell phone service these days.
No, it's not. And and I could get it if they're worried about you're on for 2 hours. What happens if your phone dies?
Yeah.
You know what? Plug your phone into the power.
Yeah.
Talk on it like that.
Well, cell phones are not as sketch as they used to be. I mean, they weren't as reliable.
No.
Right.
They're much better now.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in the house and you're running it off of the Wi-Fi too and the signal. So.
And even at my house, I mean, I live in East Dallas, and inside my house, I barely get any cell phone service. It's just the way it is. So I understand it from that.
Yeah, I do understand.
From that perspective, but it feels like if you can be in a good place, you ought to be allowed to do that. But that's their rule.
They've probably had enough experiences where they've had people drop and then get back on and then drop again. That'd be frustrating, I'm sure.
And Coast to Coast is one of those shows where if you want to be on it, you got to find
Play
a way.
by their rules.
Otherwise, you don't get to be on it. And that's all there is to it.
Then that's okay. I mean, that's the good shows are like that, right?
Yeah. And obviously, they like you, it's third time on.
I don't know, but did my best. I talked to somebody from Longview, Texas, and my accent immediately change.
Yeah.
He's like, we owned the whatever air conditioning and whatever, and I did remember that. He goes, and do you remember? And he's asking me, did you know so and so? And did you know so and so?
This is a reading she was doing.
And I'm in the reading, and I'm like, I do remember so and so and so and so. And then he goes, do you remember the air? And, I'm sure at Coast to Coast they're going, wheels are off. They're talking about, do
These
you know
freaking
so-and-so
Texas
in
people.
Longview, Texas? And I'm like, I do remember that air conditioning service. I think we used that air conditioning service. And then I'm like, what would you like me to read for you? Can I answer a question? I finally turned it back around. But my voice got more and more country the more I talked to him. It's like, good old Longview. Yep.
Well,
Good
Leslie
people.
says she listened to it at work today.
Yeah.
She says, I was not up listening to you live, but I did listen to it while she was at work.
Okay, good. Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was fun. They're really nice. So
They are.
Yeah, really, really nice people. Most everybody I've ever been, the bigger the name, like I didn't know, like Dave Schrader when I was on that show, to me, that's where you feel safe because they know what they're doing.
Right.
You know, they know how to take care of you. They know when you're on their show, they know how to, if you mess up, they know how to kind of save you. And then you can come on our show, and I'll just throw you right under the bus because I'll be like, Matt, help, what's going on? Roger, help, what's going on? But when you're on those shows where they know what they're doing, Matt knows what he's doing. But like if it's just me, I'm like, sorry, I don't have a lifeline to throw you. I'm not sure what we're going to do, right? But I do think that you feel more comfortable when you're on. It might make you more nervous that there's all these people watching or all these people listening, but at the same time, you're on where somebody knows what they're doing, so they're going to help you if you're flubbing up, right? Because they want the show to be good.
Well, and I think they also, shows like that, the bigger the show, the more time they put into prepping guests and research and things like that. You're not, jumping onto somebody who hasn't done any of the work on the back end to make sure the show is good. So they're invested in making it as good of a show as they can because it reflects on them too.
Yeah. So I do. And that's probably why the shows that are really well known and everything. That's why sometimes I'm better just not knowing them. Because when somebody told me I'd heard
You
of
mean
Coast
over
to Coast.
Researching?
No, like when I found out that Dave Schrader was Dave Schrader, I was like, oh my God, now I'm scared to be on here. Because they were like, that's a big show, or Coast to Coast. I was like, now I'm scared. And but they got you.
Well, he'll be here next week.
And Dave will be on our show next week.
Yes.
So we're very fortunate to have him. It's an equally big show, big deal to be on. It's a really big deal.
Yep.
So we're very grateful to have him on our show.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm going to tell him this. Man, I used to watch you all the time on TV when I was like a little kid.
That's going to make him feel great. I'm sure he'll have a very nice comeback for you.
We'll see.
I'm sure he can handle you just fine.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Okay. Well, tonight we are doing readings. It's the end of the month, and I did have to
It's hard to believe
figure out what month it was. I knew it was the end of the month, but for it to already be the end of December.
Okay,
It feels like it almost. I can't believe it's already May almost.
I can't believe it. Before we get into it, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could say a couple things.
I could say, because it's going to be a couple. So I was just watching the internet yesterday. Like, I listen to music. I love music. I listen to, like, clips of stuff. But all of a sudden, they had Elon Musk on talking about AI. Have y'all seen that?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah? You have?
I don't know that I've seen the thing that you're going to reference.
So was it 7 days ago and 5 days ago before Tucker got fired, because Tucker Carlson got fired from whatever show he's on. I don't even know. I don't watch the news at all. But I was watching these clips, and all of a sudden, and I'm not an Elon Musk hater, because, and I'm not trying to be political here, but the reason he did all that with Twitter is he found out there was a lot of censorship going on. And so maybe I'm wrong, but that's what he says. And so he's talking, and I'm looking at him going, are you a reptilian? Are you a draconian? I can't really tell, but you're something. And so he's talking about AI. And he said that it should be regulated, and he believes in regulation, even though he doesn't always like it. Car business is highly regulated. Rocket business is definitely highly regulated. And he thinks AI needs to be regulated. So Tucker Carlson, who is totally kissing ass, said, "Oh yeah," and then he said that Larry Craig called him from Google. Y'all should just watch it. Called him a speciesist. So in other words, and he said, "Yeah, I am." This was 2 years ago when they broke up their friendship. They broke up over this, and he said, "Yeah, I am a speciesist." In other words, biology versus what would it be called? Like computer technology. And he said, yeah, I am. I believe in humankind. And Larry, is that his name? Larry, the Google guy.
Yeah.
And he said he believes in both. It shouldn't be humankind over anything else. Everything should have, even if it's just technology. And so they broke up over that, their friendship. And so, but Elon's point was this, because I'm on a first name basis now with Elon. His point was AI needs to be regulated, and by the time we regulate it, it will be too late. Mm-hmm. Because and this is why, and I put it 2 and 2 together, and I said it on George Norrie's show, because I'm telling you, nobody has said this. It's a thought form. That's all AI is. It's a thought form. So when I've talked about in my book, creating thought forms, that's what we're doing. That's what AI does. And it's taking all of our collective consciousness thoughts, everything we've done as a civilization, and it's putting it all together with focused intent, energy, emotion, and groupthink, and it's already past us. He asked him, how long will it take before, how long do you give it before it has passed us? And one of my predictions at the new year was there'll be something that will pass us, and there won't be social media or any of this anymore. We can't even imagine what it'll be. Who knows? And it'll be soon. Did I not say that? Probably within 2 years. And he said, and this thought form is AI. It's all of us. And he said, it will not be because it's going to come and destroy us, but within a year, our thoughts will be controlled by what is put on social media. And so we will be so controlled by the thought form that what he puts, the AI is putting on social media, that that groupthink will change. And it will actually control who you vote for. I believe it. And then he said, so how long before it has taken over to the point of no return? He said, a year.
So
Sweet dreams.
I told you Terminator. That's the whole
No,
basis of
he
Terminator.
said it's not Terminator, though.
I'm telling you
It's the
different.
mind. Well, Elon does not agree with you. He said it's not Terminator coming in to destroy us. It is
Of course,
us.
he doesn't scare anybody.
He said it's no. It's scarier.
Think
He
about
said
it.
it's us. We will do it. Like we will decide this is what we need because AI will convince us of that.
So they have this robot that they created, and it's robot based. It's like a humanoid style robot that would pick a box up from this point, turn, and set it onto this point. Has to take like 2 steps and do it right. The whole robot's created just for that, but it's also was an AI robot. This is in the last 2 weeks also. And within 20 minutes of it working, it got so smart, it figured out it was slave labor and just shut itself down.
It's thought form. The whole thing is the
I
definition
believe
of
it.
a thought form. That's exactly what AI is a thought form.
Yeah.
So our thoughts are going to create a reality that is basically going to make us extinct
Yep.
within a year.
And I told you, the military has so much AI already.
Case
like,
closed.
From battleship, like in the, the Navy, planes, warplanes. China too. It's not just the U.S., China too. And they have ships that are no humans own the ships out in the water right now that they're set up for battle.
But I believe that. But I think most people, but he said the scariest thing to him is that it will literally start outsmarting us on how to convince us of what it wants. So we will be the ones to do it.
Well, there was that story from a few weeks ago of they had one, and we will be doing readings. So
We are, but
if you want
come on.
one-
This is the world at stake.
yeah, no, I think this is fair. If you do want a reading, comment on the YouTube channel. Go to if you're watching us on Facebook, follow that link that should be on in a pinned comment on Facebook, or just look us up on YouTube. It's at SoulTopia on YouTube, and find us there. Leave a comment there if you want a reading, and let us know. But there was that occasion where they had one of these. I mean, I think it's people don't like to call it AI, but I don't think it's exactly what it is. It's more just like programmed language or whatever. But they wanted it to complete a task, and it had to go and it went and hired somebody because it couldn't solve a CAPTCHA. I don't know if you guys saw that one or not, but it was trying to. I forget what it was trying to do, but part of what it was trying to do was involved in having to solve a CAPTCHA that it couldn't solve because it's made to trip up made to trip up bots. And it went on to one of the TaskRabbit or Fiverr or one of these places like that, made a post, hired somebody to do it for them, and then it got past it that way. So it was interesting in that regard.
It's interesting. It's scary that.
But I think we're already there when it comes to social media. I mean, you don't know, you already don't know you don't know who you're engaging with online, whether they could be a bot account or they're just a complete random stranger. So they may as well, to you, they may as well not really exist in some ways. So I think when it comes to like the mind share or changing public opinion, I mean, we've seen that for the last couple of election cycles, and you don't know if you're dealing with a real person on the other end or if it's just, again, a random person that has no bearing. If it's an American election, if it's somebody from a complete other country, they don't have any bearing on the thing, but they're influencing it already. So I think we're already there when it comes to social media.
I think you're right. And the year thing was when will it be too late to have regulations, and will we be able to? Will it outsmart us? And the answer was emphatically yes. It's probably that ship's already sailed. We will not be able to get regulations in place in time to. Yes. I found that pretty interesting. So we will do the show we said we were going to do.
Yes, we have a number of people who have asked for readings.
Okay.
Yep.
So they will be 1 minute readings, just like on.
Well, maybe 2 minutes.
Maybe
30
2
seconds.
minutes, which means there'll be 5.
You get 30 seconds.
Okay.
So yes, the first one I see again on YouTube is Lacey, who says, "I would like a reading."
How about we take turns?
We got plenty of time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I'll go first with Lacey. All right. So it seems like, Lacey, that you have some things to celebrate. Like just now, I was celebrating saying some things that I was on the show or I was doing whatever. A lot of people will tell you, be humble. Don't talk about things you've achieved. I think there's a point at which we have to distinguish the difference between humility and just what's the word I'm looking at? It's not just just where we don't want to at all take pride in things we've done. This card, 6 of Wands, is totally about success. It's totally about getting honor where honor is due for yourself many times. And what I'm seeing is that you have had some successes and you need to learn to just stand in the spotlight and accept, even if it's a thank you that you did this, Lacey, we really appreciate it. And you're like, no problem. No, say you're welcome. And it really does come up. The spotlight is on you in this card. This deck is the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann Donnelly. And it's really self-explanatory. I don't have to go on and on about it. It's take the accolades and the adoration of people when you do things for them and when you accomplish things. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm going to expand that to say that your friends can help you with that. I love posting things about my friends and their successes because sometimes they don't want to do that. So whether it's posting or sending them a note, do that for them too, so that they can do that for you if you feel like you are, I'm not going to brag. But it's important that here's the card, that you stand on that stage, and she is standing in front of a big, huge audience. A lot of times I get, you may be doing this soon, you may be speaking, but for you, I got, no, you need to learn to actually take a compliment.
Okay. All right, so I got for you, Lacey, is actually the Knight of Wands and the Alpha Draconians. Okay. What I get, though, Lacey, for you is that be careful. You're going to have somebody, and I get this person that's going to be coming to you. They're going to be very, somebody within kind of your inner circle almost, or right on the edge of inner circle is going to be coming at you as like, hey, I need something, right? And this person is actually not looking out for like you and your best interest. They're looking out for themselves and their best interest. And it doesn't matter if it's taking advantage of you or your good nature of helping them out or whatever. But this person is going to be coming at you pretty, like really fast and heavy, very, hey, I need you, and wanting something from you. And it's not coming from like it's definitely coming from a place of them taking advantage of you. So if you get somebody coming at you, question what their motives are and question what the outcome is.
Okay.
All right. Next we have Leslie, who says, general reading as always, please.
Leslie, is this Leslie with a Z, may I ask?
Yes.
Okay. There's a reason I asked. Leslie, I got the exact same card, I'm pretty sure. I usually don't remember this, that I got for you last time, like a month ago when we read for you. Or maybe it was one of those that I do during the day. But it's where you're trying to be the light for everyone. And in the process, do you remember that reading? And you said, yeah, that's true. I'm doing this, this, and this at work for other people. I got it again. So again, I don't think you've rectified that situation. So, and it's like same reading, second, what is it they say? Second verse. Same song, second verse. You're doing it still. You're trying to hold everything up for everybody, and you're like, they're kind of trying to act like they're holding you up to do it. It's the Five of Wands, but really they're just kind of getting in your way. So you're trying to help them, and then they're just in the way. So really, they need to just falter on their own, and you need to stop enabling them.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, and to that point, Leslie says, nope, trying to, but swirly eyes emoji, whatever that might mean.
She's not doing it. So just keep working on it. Yeah, you'll be able to do it. You're tough. I know you.
All right, Leslie. So I got the Nine of Swords. So with this, though, it's kind of that traditional. It has that keeping you up at night, your anxiety, stressing you out, and things like that. What you need to do is actually kind of start leaning into your intuition more, though, and asking your own intuition, what outcome do I need? How do I help myself? Is it cutting somebody loose? Is it this person maybe at work, if it's at work, cutting them kind of out of your circle, keeping them away from you, not engaging with them? But you need to sit up with your own intuition and see what your heart is telling you, not what you think is right, but at your own meditation into it and pulling out what the answer is. Stop depending on everybody else to be in their best interest or your best interest and causing you more stress when they're not. They're really just taking advantage of the situation for you at work.
Okie dokie.
All right. Next, we have Angie. And again, if you want a reading, comment on the SoulTopia YouTube page. If you look up SoulTopia, you'll see us live. Click that. Leave a comment there. We will get to you as long as we can. You can either ask for a general reading or be like Angie and ask for a specific reading, which is, do you see me as a widow? Recent dreams of being alone.
Okay, so this is interesting because I didn't know you had a question because Matt started off with Angie and then he said you can ask for a reading here, right? Y'all remember that? He didn't start off saying you had a specific question.
Right.
And I was going to start off my reading by saying, and if you had asked a specific question, the answer was going to be no. And I was going to ask you, what is your specific question that you did not tell us? Because the answer is no. So would you read her specific question again, please, Matt? Do you mind?
Yes. It says, do you see me as a widow? Recent dreams of being alone.
No, I do not. Now, is this in how many years? I mean, at some point for, when you're how many years old? I'm talking, I got an instant no. So, someday maybe, but it was a no. And I find that fascinating how that worked because I really didn't know you were going to ask a specific question. I am going to pull a card. And what I get is it's the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups, often we tend to kind of focus on some things that are melancholy. So it was based on a dream. I would like you, right? A dream. Mm-hmm. I would like you to look at that some other ways. I'm not going to try to interpret the dream tonight. And I don't want anybody else to try to interpret for you. I'd like you to try to go to sleep and ask to have the dream again, and ask to be lucid in that dream. And you just need to ask, and it takes some practice. And then maybe start journaling about it. But the answer is no. So let's find out what it was about. Okay?
But damn, she took my answer. She told me, don't anybody else answer. But
What?
But what I would have said no to. But what I did get is kind of the vegans card. And on this one, it says solitude, independent peace. What I like, though, is the little girl right here in the front of the card. She's got her, her finger to her temple as she's thinking, okay? And you can tell she's a very independent. And I think what your worry process is in this whole thing, and do what Michelle's talking about, but I think where it really boils back to is you and your independence, how like you're standing alone. and that does bother you, it does worry you. So maybe you do need a little bit of time where you have a little bit more independence of yourself, of working on yourself, with yourself, and just focusing on yourself there.
Okay.
All right. Next we have Kelly. Says, I would love a reading. I have a feeling that several changes are going to happen. Am I correct?
Okay. Well, that's kind of broad. Our change is going to happen in your life. So if you don't mind me reframing it a little bit, just to say, are any significant changes coming Kelly's way? And could we get a little clarity on that? And I'm sure that's what you meant, but, you're having to type it out. So, yes. The answer is yes. And so significant changes is the way I reframe the question. So are some significant changes coming your way? And the answer is yes, and they are positive significant changes. I would, that are going to make not only you feel better about yourself, but somebody in particular feel better about you. And I want to tell you something. This isn't a relationship, a love partner relationship of the person who's going to feel better about you. This is someone else in your family to whom you are somewhat estranged. And you guys, those two, you and the other person, are going to reconcile in some way because y'all's feelings are going to improve due to this one of these significant changes. The answer is yes, significant changes. Yes, they will be positive. And in one of the situations, it's even going to lead to a restoration of a relationship with a family member. Your turn.
Well, not to jump on yours, but I would also be very careful with that relationship building back up. Okay, because, for you, it seems like a good thing, but I think in the long run of things, it can cause a lot of anxiety with you. And so just be very aware going back into this relationship, building it back up because of that. There's reason that relationship's not there today. Kind of think about it that way.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Next we have Erica, who says, again, on the YouTube page, please leave a comment if you would like a reading. Erica says, can I have a reading too, please? Yes, you may.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Plus, if you got a reading, give us a thumbs up over there. Give us a like and a thumbs up.
Yeah, if you haven't tuned in before, make sure you subscribe, like the post, share it to somebody who may like it. We'll be back next week.
All right. Erica, there are some things that have happened. We all have our stories, right? We all have our things that we want to remember in our lives, and we always have those things that maybe weren't the best moments in our lives, either that were inflicted upon us or that we brought on ourselves. One of those such moments in your life has been kind of rearing its ugly head, excuse me. I don't know if that's just a legal phrase, but we used to use that a lot. Is that just a normal phrase? It rears its ugly head?
Yeah, I've heard that.
That's a phrase, okay.
That's like milk
I
over
mean, it
the
doesn't
spilled
sound
house.
legal, but it's like it's in a lot of cases. It's going to rear its ugly head again. So it's rearing its head and really bothering you, something that I feel happened to you. Okay, and that's as far as I'll go on that. I want you to know you have a strong protector, and this is where I'm going to talk about a guide. I do feel like you have a strong guide that stands before you and protects you. It's a human/angel type figure, and it's very strong. It reminds me like of a Michael, but it's not because it's in human form. Like a Michael archangel, but it's a human, like a bouncer almost. And then standing behind that guide, you then have an animal guide, and it's a feline animal guide of sorts, whichever one you connect to. It's either a lion, it could be a tiger, it could be a panther, whatever it is to you. One of those is standing right behind, but you have a lot of protection. So know that you are safe and you're protected, and it's okay. And I hope for your sake that this, I wish this wasn't true. If this reading's just completely off, then I'm happy about that. But there's something of fear that's cropping up, or somehow this has entered back into your realm of thinking, and I want you to know that you are going to be okay.
Very cool. So I got the devil card for one, and the other I got the evens again. But I get, to me, it feels like you're in a, and I'm not saying it's always your relationship. This could be a relationship with a friend, family, a relationship, but you're in a relationship that maybe not in where you need to be. Okay. It may be you're kind of not getting, the best part of the relationship. Let's put it that way. And this one, I mean, before I was talking about this card was with intuition, but this time what I get with this card is actually where it says right here, reading between the lines. Reading between the lines is there's always like the things that aren't said, okay? People's actions, how they treat you, things like that. So I feel like wherever this person is that you're interacting with that's not in your best interest is definitely one of those that you need to really take a step back and look at how they treat you, how they speak to you, things like that.
Okay,
So
I need to say something. With Roger's reading and in combination with my reading, I do want to always interject that if there is any situation where what I was reading involved anything where you feel unsafe for a reason that's like real, and I'm going to talk about this globally, not about you for your reading, but anytime I give a reading and it feels like maybe there's somebody who's unsafe and I'm saying you're safe, if there's any potential of something in the past where someone is feeling unsafe, I always will encourage them to reach out to someone, a professional, regarding that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I don't want you to count on a reading of mine to say you're safe, anyone that I read for. Does that make sense? Okay. And that's a broad statement for anybody I read for when I'm in any of my readings, or if I'm reading over the internet or whatever. So that's not just for you, but for everybody, based on what Roger just said too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And we have Lauren, who says, I would love a reading. Also, we will have time probably for one or two more. So if you do still want a reading, leave a comment on the YouTube page, on the video that's live right now, and we will get to you. But as of right now, Lauren says, I would love a reading.
Okay. So I don't know which Lauren this is, and I will say, and I don't want to know, but I will say, Lauren, I have a reading that can go either way. Okay. If you are in a relationship, I want you to know that relationship is about to enter a new phase, and it feels like a good phase. It feels like a phase where your heart's going to be very full, and it does feel like a love relationship. If you're not in a love relationship, and this is rare for me to give this, I do it very reservedly. I do feel like there may be a new beginning of a new relationship coming in. Now, do I get with that if you're in a relationship right now, that there's going to also be a new relationship coming in? Based on my one card and my intuition, I do not, y'all follow me on that? If you're in a relationship, I don't feel, based on the card I drew, that there's someone else also coming in. In other words, a second person. And I intuitively don't feel that. I feel like you are in a relationship right now and it's going to go stronger, or you're not in a relationship, because I'm not picking up on that, and I'm always honest about it. I'm not. If you are not in a relationship, there is one going to come in your life. But it is not that you're in one and then somebody else is also going to come in. Is that clear?
Yep.
Really? Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, it's important that it be clear. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I definitely was picking up on the something beginning type things, but one thing is you'll see that I got was the Emperor card. Emperor card, a lot of times, think about it as being very stern, very strict, very just has their own set of rules of way things should be. Let's go with that. Okay, so you've got something that's starting up that's actually just kind of like, this is how I want it, this is what the rules. But don't be scared to kind of question why that is and look at it on your own of, well, why are the rules this? And it doesn't hurt to learn why the rules are that way, to see if that's really where you want to be, or maybe it's just like, maybe this is not for me and it's time to move on.
Okay. Lauren says yes, very clear. So I think you made your point.
Thank you.
And finally, this is probably the last one we have time for tonight. We have Lana, who says, I would love a reading tonight, with an exclamation point.
Do you want to do a quick giveaway? Is that what you're doing there? Before you do the reading? That way we got time to watch?
Sure.
You got a question over there?
Oh, I thought we were doing the reading. I'm sorry.
Before we do the reading, let's do giveaway,
Okay.
because that way while we're doing the reading, people can answer.
Okay,
So what are
gotcha.
you giving away?
Oh, so we're giving away the ofrenda. Is that how you say
Ofrenda?
this? Ofrenda. Well, I would think that'd be an E. The E is pronounced like a long
Ofrenda.
A.
Ofrenda?
In Spanish, isn't the E like an A?
I think people know what it is.
Okay. I thought the E was like an A. My 3 years of Spanish that I made it A+ in, but now I can't even speak it at all. So anyway, this deck by these friends of ours, Nancy Henderson and Carrie Paris with Angelica Castro.
That's very cool.
Sorry, Nancy and Carrie, that I'm butchering the name. This is actually a really good deck. We carry it at our store, and we are trying. There we go. That is what we're giving away. And I do not know the question because I can't even name the name of the deck. But it was highly anticipated.
How
just
about
so you know,
the first
before it
person
came
who
out.
tells us the website to the event coming up, or just the name of the event coming up?
That's good. Which is
Website
next
would be
week.
awesome.
Yeah, post
If
that
you can
website
tell us
in
the
there.
name, Deck's running away over there.
The ofrenda.
If you can tell us, the name of the event. Leslie got it. She was fast on that.
She was right on top of it.
Leslie.
I should have made Leslie put in the web address for people.
Yes. Go ahead and put that in there if you don't mind, Leslie.
The detailed book is in both English and in Spanish. So in English it would be the ofrenda, and in Spanish it would be the ofrenda. I feel
Which
certain.
one are you reading?
He's gonna find a way to.
Do they have East
that be
Texas
right.
version in there?
And I
Yeah,
will be
how's-
reading the Longview
The Longview translation.
version with my friend from coast to coast who owns the air conditioning place
From Longview.
in Longview, Texas.
East Texas.
East
I forget,
Texas.
have we talked about this on the show out in Longview? Did they do the squeeze butter in the Mexican restaurants? Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, we've talked about that.
Okay.
Probably
Yeah.
originated there.
I know it's an East Texas thing. Like it didn't make it this far.
Didn't we talk about it when
No, you
didn't
can
you
get that
ask Matthew McConaughey that? Didn't we talk about it? When
Maybe
he-
we did.
We've
I
talked
don't remember
about
if
it.
I
We
did.
didn't ask
but
Matthew about it, but we
It's
did.
a
I
thing
think-
that always fascinates me because I don't think you see it until you get to maybe Canton or something.
I've seen it here.
I don't know.
But the
I think-
restaurants I saw it here in were
Are they run by East Texans?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I think because Longview, we went up on a hill and we had a long
hill out there?
view. Well, it's why it's named Longview.
I
And
thought
so
those were
we
climbing
had
up into
foresight,
pine trees.
Yeah.
or up into Matthew McConaughey's forts, right? That he made in the pine tree. But no, I really think it was before the show we somehow got talking about that.
Maybe we did.
I think Longview invented a lot of things because there's some really intelligent people from Longview, Texas.
Again,
I won't put that to
there's that guy that runs the
challenge
AC
on
place
that
out
one.
there.
That guy,
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Business owners out there.
And I liked him. He was funny. And I know, when you're talking to true Longview or true East Texas, because all your like if you say a one syllable word like pie, it becomes pie. Yeah, so there you go. All right.
No, that is just a thing that stuck with me because I thought, again, growing up in Texas, 5th generation,
Yeah.
I feel like I know everything there is to know about Tex-Mex. And then I go out to Tyler,
Yeah.
and I have Mexican food, and there's squeeze butter on all the tables. I'm like, what is this for?
Yeah.
And they just put it on everything. They
It
put
just makes it easier.
So
I guess.
Since the day I
Anything-
met Michelle, all I've heard about this Mexican restaurant in Longview is the best one. It's they have the cave there. I'm like, what the fuck you mean they have a cave there? Yeah, they have like this little cave. The kids go in. They
The kids like the cave.
Kids like go in the cave and play. Okay, whatever. And so they take me to this. When we went out there the first time to this Mexican, we have it in McKinney. No, in Frisco. It was in Frisco, the exact same
We
place.
invented it.
They
It's-
closed since.
It started in Longview.
Is it a jalapeno tree?
Well, that was the other one. Then so I was like, it was because there's jalapeno tree.
Yeah.
Which was in McKinney.
And Bodacious Barbecue.
Yeah, and then you have Bodacious. But they had one in McKinney. They had one in Longview too. But this one is the one that was right there by Outback in Frisco, by Outback. And we used to go there all the time. And I'm like, it's the exact same thing that you were telling me about.
That's because they just copied Longview.
No, it was owned by the same people.
chain, I think.
It was a chain.
Well, then
It wasn't
they
like it
decided it
was
was so
chain.
good in Longview that they had to bring it here. I mean, what can I say?
All right.
Longview.
Let's give Lana her reading. I would love
All
a
right,
reading.
Lana's reading.
You go first.
Oh. All right. Well, fine. All right, Lana. So, got you a great card here. The World card, okay? And also have the other card is the Blue Avians, which is philosophy, releasing karma, and mysticism, okay? And when I see these two cards really together, is your world's opening up, okay? Whatever's in front of you, whatever you're kind of like thinking, now's the time to move on it. Now's the time to actually put those thoughts into action and get out there and actually grow yourself, if it's a business, if it's something you're wanting to do, relation, whatever it is you're working towards, now is the time to move forward on it. Do it. Bam.
And it should involve dance. Okay? So this is, yes.
Cool.
I am totally serious.
At time.
So, movement. I drew 2 cards this time, and both of them totally have meanings, obviously, but I'm getting, is it Lana or Lana?
Lana.
You, whatever it is, even, no, I can't back off of it. It's music and dance. It's going to lift your mood, your vibration, whatever you want to call it. You need it. You need to crank up the music, whatever dancing is to you, even if it's just sitting in your chair moving around, the little like how I move, just barely, or full out dancing, yoga. Seriously, do you play an instrument? I don't know if we have time to wait for the answer, but if you play an instrument, I need you to pick the instrument back up if you put it down. And the instrument may be your voice, but I feel like it's another one too. And it's going to change a lot of how you're feeling about yourself and the environment around you. So, very specific.
Very cool.
Starting like now.
Very good.
Yep.
Nice.
Want to see the cards? The 2 of Pentacles, or the Page of Pentacles, where she looks like she's doing tree pose, and the 4 of Wands. And those totally don't mean what I said, but that is the reading that came to me. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Very nice.
All right. Well, that's it for
Yeah.
that's all of our readings.
That's
for
all
tonight.
of our readings.
I
Awesome.
timed out just right.
So keep in mind, next week we actually have Dave Schrader on, right?
Yes.
So that'll be a lot of fun. Dave's fun. He's interesting. Can we drink like they do on their other show?
Well, Shane was drinking a beer on our show.
I know, but can we drink? I mean, they drink on Friday night show. Can we drink next week?
You can drink. I'll have one of those pina coladas.
We have some of
pours.
That's always a tricky proposition when it comes to doing a show. But
I wonder
Well-
if they're really drinking.
I would say one of them definitely is.
I think they're hilarious.
I'm pretty sure all 3 of them are.
If y'all don't watch that show, Paranormal 60.
Paranormal
it's really
60
good.
Friday nights.
Yeah,
Yep.
so he'll be on, well, Mondays and Fridays, right?
Oh yeah, Mondays.
Well,
and
he has a
Fridays.
show. But he'll be on. And then Tide.
Then Tide starts. Early check-in will be Thursday night. We'll be there setting up, getting things ready to roll Friday morning at bright and early Friday morning. Way too early for me, but I'll be there very early doing it. And we'll have everything. The vending hall will be from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all 3 days. 10 to 6. Totally free to the public. You do not have to have a ticket. We do not collect money at the door. Come in, shop. We'd rather you come in, and instead of paying us to come in the door, we'd rather you buy something from one of our great vendors. And we got all types of things. Like when I say all types, there's all types of things. It's going to be there from crystals to jewelry and, drums. There's a lady coming that makes handmade drums that are super cool, like hand painted. Then they're not only hand painted, they're usable too. So
Cool.
not just a wall decoration. Very cool stuff.
There'll be readers. There'll be energy workers. And then
Massage
there'll
people.
I'm doing that like every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So it'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we do have tickets. I was asked about putting in a few day passes for some people because some people wanted to come for just a single day. So I will try to get some day passes set up. So if you can't make, I can't make all 3 days, but I could come Saturday, or I could even come Saturday, Sunday. We'll have some day passes in there. You can buy just Saturday, Sunday passes also. So I'm going to work on those tonight, guys, and we'll put those out and share them out too. But I mean, all 3 days, you really get into the immersion of it and really get involved with everybody, plus get to hang out with people after hours. I know Leslie, she was on there. She's been to a couple of events like this before. She lives in town, guys, and she booked a hotel room just because she's like, I want to be there with everybody.
She likes to hang out at night
Yeah.
in the common areas where everybody hangs out till really late. It's all fun.
To at least 2 a.m.
At least.
At least 2
I'll
a.m.
be sleeping.
Hint, hint.
I'll be sleeping. Oh, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Slow pour.
Slow pour over there. Because slow pours end at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, next week we'll see you with our guest Dave Schrader, and thank you as always, Matt Stoker, for being here and helping us put on the best show as long as we listen to you that we possibly can. We really appreciate
It's a good show regardless.
you. All right.
That's right.
See you next week, everyone.
Good night, guys. See ya.
Thanks for listening to SoulWhat, a SoulTopia production. If you're intrigued, searching, or looking to schedule a reading of your very own, visit us in sunny Dallas, Texas, or visit us online at facebook.com/SoulTopia Holistic Boutique. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting platform to be the first to hear new episodes every Tuesday at 7:30 Central.